Welcome to the Board of Selectmen informational session for February 9th, 2021. It's 6:30 p.m. I start off tonight with a sad note. I'd like to extend our condolences from the town and from all of us in Town Hall to the family of Mr. Robert Burnett of Maple Street. Bob passed recently. He was an Air Force veteran, and for those in town knew that he spent over 2 decades on the Conservation Commission. So another long-term resident that we've lost. And once again, our condolences to the family. Thank you. Do we have any public input tonight? We'll open it up. Anyone with their hands up in the chat room?
So if you're interested in public input, please put your name in the chat so that we can recognize you. At this time, no one, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Well, let me turn it over to Tom then to work through the announcements.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whoops, sorry, I just lost it. I pulled it back up. There we go. Thank you. First announcement is the planning board is conducting the master plan information session on Thursday, February 25th at 6:30 via Zoom. The link will be available within 48 hours of the meeting. Planning board and myself invite all residents and interested parties to join with them for the informational session to discuss the master plan proposal. And they're going to supply information on the history of Wenham's master plan and why a new master plan is beneficial to our community. When we did our most recent master plan, when I was in Swampscott, the turnout and the input by our community was great. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what Wenham's opinions are on the master plan going forward. Next, Board of Health is looking for volunteer vaccinators and administrative support for our vaccination clinics throughout the spring. The email address is jbresnahan@wenhamma.gov if you're interested. Next, voting is open, and this is not for the special election. This is for our cutest dog competition through February 15th. So far, we have 41 entries. All of them I consider winners, but there will be one chosen. And the winner will be announced next Tuesday. They're receiving a treat basket. And I'm also, since I'm a dog lover myself and had one for years, I'm going to be also adding some additional treats to the basket for Wenham's cutest dog. Next on some reports. The MBTA is implementing some service changes due to low ridership caused by COVID-19. The bus network and subway system changes will take place on March 14th and commuter rail starting April 5th, and that would be our commuter rail service. Ahead of the changes, MBTA is going to host 2 virtual public meetings on February 17th and February 24th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Information can be found on the MBTA website, mbta.com/service changes, and on the town website. These meetings are actually very interesting. I used to attend these before they became virtual, and there's a lot of information and discussion going forth on them. So if you have an interest in public transportation, I recommend that you attend. Now, for my schedule, meeting schedule is lightening up a little bit this week. Tomorrow night, I have a joint budget meeting with the Hamilton and our Finance Advisory Committee. And then late afternoon, early evening on Thursday, February 11th, the Town Government Study Committee is going to begin their work, and that will be their initial meeting. Next, I have, I'm sorry, I was going to give my report, but the chair can give his report.
I guess I'm first then.
Yes.
But yeah, just like to echo first that master plan, as Tom can explain, will cover just about every aspect in the town: housing, transportation, conservation, open space, and so forth. So we really need to have widespread participation by the citizens to make that a success. All right, chairman's report then.
Excuse me,
election schedule.
Gary, I'm sorry, if I could
Yeah,
interrupt.
Margaret, yes, our
Yeah,
master
thank
plan
you.
expert.
Well,
Why
I
don't you
wouldn't say
jump
that.
in there?
I just did want to give you a little bit of information. The session that we're going to be holding on the 25th is simply an information session to let the residents know why the planning board wants to start that master plan process. We're looking for support from the residents for the budget item at town meeting, especially. But so this is just a preliminary opportunity for the planning board to kind of open the discussion. Once the process does begin, if we get the funding, and then we'll hire the consultants, and then we'll start to really have some really good sessions where we'll have the public invited to comment and to discuss all of the components of the master plan. But at this point, it's really just an opportunity for the planning board to let people know, we're thinking about doing the master plan, and here's why, and here's how it can benefit the community. And then hopefully get support from everyone for the town meeting budget item.
Sounds good, Margaret. Thank you. Can we have the election schedule slide up? All right, so special town election, Thursday, April 8th at Town Hall. I already see that several people have pulled out nomination papers for both the town clerk position and the one selectman position. An intention to run will be required and is available at wenhamma.gov/elections. Email your intention to run to the town clerk's office at townclerk@wenhamma.gov. Nomination papers are available now and due back next Thursday, right, the 18th. 21 signatures required for both positions. As usual, get a few extra because you have to have them matched up against the census list. Last day to withdraw will be on Monday, March 8th. So that is for one selectman position, which will end up being just over a one-year term, and the town clerk position will end up being the remainder of for 2 years. Thank you. All right, the second election will be on Thursday, May 6th after the town meeting. Again, an intention to run will be required and is available at the wenhamma.gov/elections, or email your intention to run to the town clerk's office at townclerk@wenhamma.gov. Nomination papers are available now, and now for this election are due back by Thursday, March 18th. Again, it's 21 signatures. Get a few extras so you don't run short, except for the Hamilton Wenham Regional School Committee, which requires 40 signatures for that one particular position. School committee papers are requested through the district office. Last day to withdraw for that election is Monday, April 5th. So let me go through these positions, and I must say, so far, I don't think we've had people pull papers on all of these, so there are some vacancies. Board of Assessors, one position. Board of Health, one position. Board of Selectmen, one position. That'll be for the full 3-year term. A Hamilton Wenham Library Trustees, there are 2 positions at large. Hamilton Wenham Regional School Committee, there's 2 positions for 3-year terms. Moderator, 1 position. Planning Board, 1 position. Water Commission, 1 position. And the Wenham Housing Authority has 2 positions, 1 for a 5-year and 1 for a 3-year term. So hopefully people will come in and volunteer to join the town hall group and run for office here. Thank you. All right, as I said last week, public requests for budget items. Those that have been watching these Board of Selectmen sessions know that we've had different departments present their information, fire and town clerk and police and so forth. Tonight we'll have another one on the cemeteries. But as we get deeper into the budget season, if there are particular budget items that you'd like to get deeper information on, then let either Tom or myself know by email, and we'll get that presentation up on a future Board of Selectmen session here. Also, if you are intending to have a citizen's petition to create an article for the town meeting, please get those in, and we can coordinate with the town council to make sure that they fit the format, and the will not have a repeat of our previous town meetings where it end up just being a straw poll. So that both of those are open to all citizens to do, but let's try to get the lead time, get it done early. Thank you. All right, I'll turn it over to Mr. Bill Wilson, who will, Chairman of the Cemetery Commission, who will give us an update on that department, give us some idea what they do and what they will be looking for at the town meeting.
Thanks,
Bill.
Gary. Can you hear me fine or?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So hi, Bill Wilson. Evening, everybody. I want to give you a quick overview of the commission, who we are, who staffs up that, our mission, our goals and objectives for 2021, and also to kind of give you the status of where we are achieving those goals there, and then a quick summary to wrap it up. So the commission, you see the organizational chart at the bottom there. We have the Cemetery Commission, which is composed of 3 individuals there: Harriet Davis, myself as chair, and Dana Bagnell. We have 1 burial agent. He's a dual-hatted DPW, Bill Wilds, and 1 administrative assistant, Sheila Bouvier, who is also a DPW and does many other things beside that. But that's the commission as it stands today. Next chart. Mission's pretty simple. Manage the 3 town cemeteries, which are shown in the panels across the bottom there. Main Street Cemetery, Fairfield, which is closed, but we still provide oversight for that and collect data and review data on that. And then IRL, which is open for sale of lots, unlike the other 2, which are not. But our mission here is to maintain the traditional New England cemeteries for the residents of Wenham. Next chart. Goals and objectives for 2021. So we've set out 5 goals and objectives for us to achieve this year. First, update the cemetery rules and regulations, which are last done in 2016. So the committee's working on that now. Second, tree removal at Main Street Cemetery. You can imagine after 300 years, trees become a problem, become a safety issue. And we are taking them down one at a time to the extent that the budget allows. It's a pretty expensive operation to maintain. Third, replacement of degraded Main Street maintenance fence. If anybody's been up to Main Street there, up in what we call R6 on the right-hand side there, there's a old wooden area that holds dirt and loam and gravel and sometimes equipment there. We're in the planning stages of evaluating that and getting funding to get that totally replaced. Fourth is a review of the Main Street grave documentation. We're doing analysis now on the Main Street lots to determine if there are other available lots for sale for the citizens of Wenham. For those that have been in town for a long time, you know, a final resting place at Main Street would be a highly desirable place to wind up at. So we're determining if there are any additional lots up there, and then we'll determine how they'll be distributed, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. And lastly, cemetery computer days validation. We've got 300 years of history out there, veterans' graves, books, deeds, and working in concert with the town clerk to kind of bring it all together, validate all this stuff. And this is an ongoing effort. Next chart. So just the status on the R&R rules and regulation committee has reviewed them, and then pending final comments, which we are still working on right now, we're going to schedule a meeting with the Board of Selectmen to review the changes. But at high level there, the primary changes are grave lot fees. Second one may be important to the people out there, sale lots to include lottery structure for graves that become available in Main Street. That we first look, you know, we have 8 to 10 that we put out in the lottery structure so that everybody has a fair and equitable and reasonable chance of capturing one of those. And last is general cleanup and clarifications of correction, as you might imagine, after 5-6 years that it does need a little bit of cleaning up there. So the meeting with the Board of Selectmen is put on hold pending the May elections, but we are working towards that. Next chart. Tree maintenance. This has really been a safety concern. If any of you have golfed over at Wenham Golf Club there, you know that there's trees are coming down on the course. They're also coming down within the cemetery itself, breaking stones on occasion, knocking them off, which they have. And we're taking them out one at a time as we find them and determine that they are a safety hazard. On the left and right panels there, you can see Sequoia tree removal. This is kind of a big deal operation. If anybody's had that in their home, they have a lot of heavy equipment go over there to send a guy up in the tree to chop it, pick it, place it, and then crush it up and take it out. Really a major effort going on there in the Main Street Cemetery. We've done 6 trees removed from Main Street so far that pose what I feel is a significant safety hazard there, and we'll continue to do that. Next chart. Maintenance area fence, I spoke about this there. On the left-hand panel, you can see the maintenance yard, if you will. Before we started to dig into a little bit, it was just collapsing upon itself, really in disrepair. I'm not sure how long it's been there, 20 plus years. But we've done some incremental refurbishment. We've got piece parts, backers, pickets, and so forth, kind of get it together so it's at least it looks halfway decent, which is all we can do right now. But we have a quote from Reliable Fence. It's a sizable money. You know, given that our budget per year is around $13,000 to do everything, this takes a huge chunk out of it there. But we are looking into it. We're going to schedule it, hopefully for next year. And once we do this, this will reduce the footprint. We're going to make it smaller, which will open up additional lots for sale to the community citizens of Wenham. Next chart. Database management. As one of the things I like to do is to dig into data, look at things. And so I've been involved with that there. But when you start to look at the database and evaluate it for veterans, which I've been involved with Dean Peterson's group, the Veterans Committee of Wenham there, you look at the number of people that are interned veterans at Main Street. You have 484, which is shown in the top panel up there. Iron Rail, 20. So there's a total of 504 veterans that are buried within the Wenham cemeteries there. The panel on the left shows where they're located at. It's something that makes sense to us. For example, in Main Street, there's Burial Hill, Highland Division, New Cemetery, Proprietors Ground. It just shows where the veterans are buried and the percentages of where they're buried. But more importantly, and more interesting, is when you start to dig and look at this stuff, the number of veterans that have stepped up to go into harm's way to defend our nation really started back in the French and Indian War, 1754 to 1763. And you can kind of see the evolution of the wars that they have participated in and the number of veterans that are buried in the cemeteries here in Wenham. Kind of the top numbers there. Civil War, there are 70 veterans buried in the Wenham Cemetery. World War II, and an increasing number every day, 224. And up to current day, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, the bottom where we have 1. But it's interesting to look at the number of veterans that these are the people that have stepped forward from the town and are buried in the town. It doesn't address all the people that stepped up from the town and then moved away. But it's we fought in all wars, starting from the French and Indian War up to Desert Shield, Desert Storm. It's a very interesting statistic. Next chart. So hopefully each of you got the panel on the right-hand side in your water bill this year, which looking for sponsors on Wreaths across America to donate. And we did that this year and counted with Dean Peterson and the Veterans Committee there. Some of the pictures are shown on 19 December 2020. We have a small ceremony at the front there. You can kind of see the one to right of the flyer that we present a wreath to all the services there. You can see the numbers of people below that marching down the hill that came to participate, to honor our veterans, and to place a wreath on every grave that has a U.S. flag on it. It was a great day. It was a successful day despite the COVID constraints that really restricted the number of people that we could have there. We could only have, I think, 50 at one time. And generally, well, not generally, we're hoping to have much more of that in the future, 100 or 200 or more. But it's a great community involvement, a great time for the family and children. It's just a great day. So look for your water bill this coming year. Please make a donation to Wreaths Across America, and look forward to seeing you there on the day next year, December timeframe. Next chart. So in summary, just kind of wrap things up here. It's been a busy year maintaining Main Street with a much needed repair and tree maintenance, and that'll go on there. There's a long list of things that have to be done. the Main Street wall, graves have to be done, stones have to be repaired, big thing. Database analysis is, we've got yielded a small number of grave lots opening in the Main Street Cemetery. We're going to continue that, hopefully make them available to the public. Rules and regulations will be updated to reflect distribution of the Main Street grave lots to the citizens of Wenham. So I hope you all participate in that event. And when that comes up, probably in the May, June timeframe there. And a successful year for our veterans and Wreaths across America. So hey, we're still working to the goals and objectives. I'd like to thank everybody for listening tonight. And that's all I have, Gary.
Thank you, Bill. Excellent presentation there. So yeah, cemetery is a small portion of the budget, but certainly has been a large portion of our Wenham history. And if you haven't been down there, or perhaps new to town, the fact that the graves actually extend back to the 1600s is quite amazing. Thank you. All right, do we have Mary Beth? Yes. So public health nurse extraordinaire. Are you ready, Mary Beth?
I am. Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman. So good evening, everyone. Current case count is posted on the town website. It's 228 confirmed cases, 15 probable, for a total of 243 from the onset of the pandemic. I will say that one of the other things I'm very proud of is working together with Gordon College. Gordon College is now working with the higher education branch of the Contact Tracing Collaborative. And I just met with both the CTC Higher Ed and Gordon College today. They have established a really good working relationship so that all of the cases that are identified at Gordon College can be handled expeditiously. And both Public Health and Gordon College are very, very pleased with how this effort is going at this point in time. Testing is not on here. I will let people know that testing times in Wenham locally have been posted on the town website. We will be testing at Miles River Middle School again on Saturday, February the 20th, and Saturday, February the 27th from 8:30 to 3:30 p.m. Again, this is intended for individuals who are experiencing symptoms or who have been designated a close contact. There is a facility if you need it for travel to pay for your test. Additionally, there are plenty of places, urgent cares, stop the spread testing sites, which are listed on the town website to guide people to the closest location for them. And in terms of local vaccine distribution update, I would just like to say I'm very pleased with how last Saturday's vaccination clinic went. We vaccinated, there will be a slide coming up, but I will just say we had tremendous planning. Jackie and I, as well as our counterparts in public safety, Wenham Fire and Wenham Police, did a lot of planning, and we worked together with our Area 3D Emergency Preparedness Planner, Karen Contador, and I really feel that we did a fantastic job. The residents were incredibly pleased and verbalized their thanks for a convenient, safe, and effective clinic for them. The volunteers were thrilled. They repeatedly commented that the residents were so grateful. It was very gratifying to work. And we had nurses from our two public health nurses, Becky LeBlanc and Tracy Watson, as well as our school nurses, Leah Tebenkin, Jessica Baker, Lisa Druskett, all came to help. And it was a wonderful day. This slide shows you that we have another clinic coming up this Sunday. We're partnering together with Hamilton and Conley's Pharmacy from Ipswich. It is by appointment only. It's going to be at the Recreation Center connected with the Hamilton Wenham Library. You can make appointments by calling 978-828-7044. I will say that that is how Wenham is scheduling appointments. Hamilton is doing it differently. So if you're a Hamilton resident, check the Hamilton town website for instructions about how you can sign up. But for Wenham residents, we are happy to take your call and schedule an appointment. If you call that number and it rings for a while, please just hang on and leave a voicemail message. All voicemail messages will be returned. So if you need an appointment and it rings, just be patient, wait for the voicemail if somebody doesn't immediately pick up, and please do leave your name and your telephone number speaking clearly so we can call you back to book your appointments. Lastly, I will say that we are vaccinating tomorrow. We have appointments already scheduled. Tremendous thanks to Lisa Jackson from the Medical Reserve Corps and her volunteers who are coming to provide us administrative support as well as vaccinators. And this just shows you where we are in terms of our progress at this point. We were able to vaccinate 64 individuals, which we were very thrilled. I'm sure many of you might have heard on the news that sometimes the vials of vaccine may have a bonus dose, and we had 4 vials that had a bonus dose. So we brought 60 doses and were able to get 64 out of them. So we were very happy about that. And then the appointment scheduled, Jackie, I believe that's for Sunday. Is that correct? The appointment scheduled 70?
That's a combination of tomorrow and Sunday, actually.
Okay, all right. And you can see that we still have an ample number of appointments available. So if you are a resident who is a phase 1 healthcare worker, first responder, you are more than welcome to call and make an appointment. If you are a phase 2 priority group 1 person, who is someone who is 75 years of age or older, please call to make an appointment. And we will continue to update you as we move through the priority groups with vaccine. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary Beth. You know, it's certainly a great effort on Saturday, and for this Sunday coming up, we want to fill up these appointments as much as we can. So if you're age 75 or older and in those categories, please sign up. And then Mary Beth, any word on when we expect the state will move on to the next category yet?
Unfortunately, I haven't heard anything about that. I was just on the call from the Department of Public Health today, and they did not mention that yet.
All right, but it's coming. So we'll get the
It is
75 and
coming.
above.
Please be patient. Yeah,
Right. All right. Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
So I think a rather short meeting compared to some others tonight, but still we have important business of getting the word out. If you have family members in that 75-year age group or above, then please help them get to their computer or the phone calls to get signed up for the vaccination. So otherwise, Tom, do you have anything else to wrap up?
No, we have a much more intensive one at our next meeting. So
All right.
thanks very much.
Very well. So see you again next week. We've got a little bit of snow here, so we'll have a DPW, I think will be out shortly, if they're not already out there plowing. And please be safe, both for the pandemic and while driving. Thank you very much for attending, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, Catherine. Did you get everything all set there?
Yes, thank you.
All right. All right. So session adjourned then. Thank